Welcome to either the beginning or the end of your lives. This is John Rambo Presents the show, now on iTunes and Stitcher. My name is John, and I am joined by America's one true superhero. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Ed Trotta is among us. Ed?
Yeah, I should leave now after that introduction, so I quit while I'm ahead.
It's all true, sir. We all know about your secret identity and all that stuff.
No phone booths in my apartment.
No.
No way to change.
You don't need to. You just go as yourself.
Oh, okay.
Here I am.
Here we are.
Yes.
Hello, Ramborgians.
Ed, thank you for being here, sir.
My pleasure,
It's
as always.
It's a great honor to have you month to month, but now we actually have you as a full show co-host today.
How about that?
Are you excited about this?
On.
A lot of pressure to live up to OJ.
Yeah, you know, his shoes are impossible to fill. The two of you...
Very large, yes.
It can't be, it's inimitable. It cannot be imitated.
That's a little scary. So you think I'm stuck with him forever? That's what you're telling me?
I know.
So it's a frightening thought. So, Ed, I understand you broke up a fight recently.
Broke up a fight,
What is this all about? You broke up a fight today, was this?
Sunday. My dog Yogi, my sweet dog Yogi, you've seen him.
Yeah, he seems so...
He's mellow, he's chill.
He's very mellow, yeah.
I took him to the dog park to let him off the leash, let him run, you know. And he loves huskies. He doesn't like pit bulls or shepherds.
Wow, how does he know?
How does he know?
He could tell just by looking at him? Is that like a prejudice?
He can tell you what they had for breakfast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he, you know, one-on-one, he's cool with just about any dog. But once two or three others get in the way, then he gets like possessive or no, my friend, and then they start to get into a little bit of a hassle, and if Yogi starts feeling outnumbered, he starts getting defensive and aggressive, and before you know it, they're snapping at each other. So I just reached right in to grab his collar to pull him to safety, but he didn't know who I was at that time. His back was to me. So he turned and snapped, and I got...
Oh, wow, look at that. Gotcha.
Yeah, I got a little dig there. But that's the first fight he's had in months, so... And I'm glad it was Yogi that bit me, because I know he's had his shots.
Right. Was he upset that he bit you? Any kind of remorse, or he just...
No, he doesn't have remorse.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he sent me a card. He sent me an apology.
Oh, there you go. Apology note.
Little paw
Literally
note.
bite the hand that feeds, you know? It's
literally did that,
something else.
That was my fault for reaching in. You don't do that. You wander in, and you kind of keep them apart with your legs.
Uh-huh.
See?
Wow. It's a whole world. Don't you wish you could, like, you know, maybe for a moment understand what's going on there? What are they saying to each other?
Yeah.
Like,
a little bit.
Are they cursing at each other in some sort of a dog language?
Dog language.
I mean, what is it about? Is it over, like, a girl? Is it over money? I mean, food? Like, anything?
Usually with Yogi, it's because a girl dog said no.
Really?
No. Because Yogi's a humper.
Okay, so she says no, and then he wants to fight her? Is that what goes on?
Says no, and he goes after her anyway. I said no.
Oh, so he's the instigator.
He's just, he's a young male dog. What can I tell you?
He's doing what a young male dog does.
Say Yogi no says no, and then I have to turn to the owner and says and I have to say he doesn't get it from me. I swear.
I try to teach him.
Yeah.
You got to put him in some kind of like sex ed class or something. I don't know.
Oh, at least take him to dinner first, Yogi, please.
Yeah.
Get a room, you two.
That's something, sir. Well, the most important thing to happen since it happened last year has happened, Ed. Of course, November 11th was yesterday. Yes. November 11th is Ed Trotta's birthday.
It's my birthday.
Wow.
Just a quick story there. I was supposed to be born November 10th.
What happened?
But my mother wanted me to have a holiday for my birthday. So she told the doctor, I'm gonna hold out till the 11th. And he said, I'm sorry, Mrs. Trotta, you're going to have your child on the 10th. She said, I'll bet you $2. He said, I'll take that. And sure enough, she held on. And I was born at like 15 minutes after midnight on the 11th. And so
Veterans Day.
in those days, it was called Armistice Day.
Yeah.
Because armistice was the treaty that ended World War I. Little by little, with evolving wars, we turned it into Veterans Day to acknowledge the military from all the wars.
Right, right. So it's a day that the post office is closed at. That's the day you were born.
That's
You
right.
cannot receive or send mail on your birthday.
Federal holiday. Yep.
Yeah, it's something. So happy birthday, sir. It's a great honor to have you here, day after your birthday.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice day for the birthday?
I had a good day. I was supposed to have dinner with my daughter at the Manhattan Beach Club where she teaches tennis. I haven't seen the place yet, but they have a really nice restaurant. She gets a discount, and that was the plan. But her work was called off because of the holiday also, because most of her clients or students and schools were closed. So they told her not to come in, so I didn't have dinner with Spencer. Other friends had said, if that falls through, we'll do it. And then they weren't getting home till 7:30, and I was too hungry. I said, I'm going to eat. I'm going to make some more phone calls, get together with more friends. We'll have dinner later. My birthday is stretching out for like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Pulled some shenanigans. Keep it going for like months.
Keep it going, you know.
Yeah, I like that.
It's 64. I'm 64.
Right, right.
You know, it's not exactly a milestone year. Like, I don't know, what are
100?
Sweet 16, 18,
Yeah.
you get to vote, 21, you get to buy booze.
Become drunk legally.
65, you get Social Security, you get your Medicare. 64 has got nothing to it except a song that I thought of, an old Beatles song.
Yes.
Well, for your viewers, all Beatles songs are old songs, right?
Well, they're great songs. It's the most important thing.
But this one was from, I don't even know what album. Might have been
I believe Sgt. Pepper, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think so, yes.
But since I got the dog, so I looked the song up when I'm 64. I looked the song up.
You're going to try to learn how to play the song.
They're not yet. I was going to play the song.
Yes.
But then Sunday I got the dog bite and I couldn't pick. It would hurt to pick. And you know, you're a strummer, and you can pick also. But I have a hard time strumming some songs. And so I didn't learn it. So my friend Fuzzy, who was in the band with me, the rubber band, way back
from Tarrytown, right?
Yeah, we used to butcher as many Beatles songs as we could.
Of course, yeah.
And he said, well, why don't you do it a cappella? I said, really? But my guitar, he said, don't worry, Ed. Without the guitar, they're not missing anything. I said, okay, I'll do it a cappella. So I think it's a sweet song. You know, it's about love or romance in your golden years.
It's got the hat going here.
And got a hat going. My old man cap. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine? Birthday greeting, bottle of wine. If I've been out till 2:45, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? You'll be older too. And if you say the word, I could stay with you. I could be handy mending a fuse when your lights are gone. You can knit the sweater by the fireside. Sunday morning, go for a ride. Work in the garden, dig in the weeds. Who could ask for more? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? Mm-mm. Every summer we could rent a cottage on the Isle of Wight if it's not too dear. We shall scrimp and we shall scrimp and save. Grandchildren on my knee. Vera, Chuck, and Dave. Drop me a postcard, send me a line, stating point of view. Indicate precisely what you mean to say. You're sincerely wasting away. Send me an answer, fill in a form, mine forevermore. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
The whole song and the tuba.
And the tuba. I don't know what horns those are.
Something, yeah.
They're compensating for the guitar. So thank you for indulging me that. And Fuzzy, if you were watching, I hope you didn't miss the guitar.
When's Fuzzy coming on the program here?
Well, when he visits California.
Okay, sure.
He lives in Tarrytown.
Yeah.
Near you.
Yes.
So.
And how long have you known him for?
Oh, since high school.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, since 64.
Since 64.
64, 65. It was the year that Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston.
Wow.
Yeah, that was our freshman
Did you watch
year.
that when it happened?
Couldn't watch it because we were in freshman orientation night for the live fight.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Historic sports moment.
Yeah, one of the highlights of sports moments. But I remember the priest before the orientation saying a prayer for. He was still at the time called Cassius Clay.
Yes.
So there's that great picture of all time. With a fist up and like this, and I am the greatest. And yeah, he proved it. Probably the greatest boxer of all time. But that's what was happening, and when it was happening.
There's a lot of stuff from that time. We'll talk about a little bit about some of this later today, but so much stuff from that era is just live forever. And people still talk about the greatest this, the greatest that. Two of them right there, Muhammad Ali and the Beatles, of course. Those are things that'll last forever, and you were there kind of on the cusp of it there when it was new. It was such a cool thing,
Yeah, the Beatles were the first band to really my music. I did have a few Beach Boy 45s.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of the hot American group at the time, Everly Brothers. But then you start getting even older than my generation. You start getting into Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry, and they were a little before my time.
Right. Were there people at the time that denied the greatness of the Beatles? Were there some people like, oh, this won't last, this is nothing, or was there that kind of voice out there?
There wasn't
the voice of fools.
There really wasn't much of that about them. People knew that they were special. There was that about the Dave Clark Five, another group, or Jerry and the Pacemakers, because the Beatles started with the English invasion. The only other group were the Rolling Stones, the only other group to really have the staying power. Although, no, I think the Kinks came from England.
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones. Then you have like Herman's Hermits, which didn't really last too long.
Herman's Hermits, yeah. But there was something about the Beatles.
Of course,
music
The Who did very well.
The Who, yeah. But the Beatles opened the door, and there was something special about their music that survived all along.
All right, so we'll get back to the Beatles a little bit later, but going back to your birthday, sir.
Yeah.
There's a tweet here. It comes to us from Bushi. He was a great friend of ours.
Yeah.
And he has a question for you.
Good.
It says, "Happy birthday, sir. Did you ever think that in 2014 you would be an inspiration to a 16-year-old?
I thought about that. I saw that tweet, and I said, and I thought, it made me wonder, do you have any viewers who are nearly as old as I am, or even in my generation?
I don't know. We have to find out about this.
It was a very gratifying thought to think that I could be, but I figured
he's telling you that, so it's true.
You guys all have each other to talk to, so I'm like, that's where I come in, is for the older, or well, see, when we get older, we don't really get smarter.
That's a great thought. Do you get dumber? You're telling me what's going on? What's happening to me here?
Yeah, we don't really get smarter. We claim experience and wisdom.
Right. Yes.
See, but actually, we forget something every day. While when you're young, you learn something every day.
Yeah.
So, well, that's how Rocky put it to his son in Rocky 3, I think, or he said, you're smarter than I am, because every day I'm forgetting something, and every day you learn something, and I sort of identified with that with my daughter. I think my daughter's smarter than I am. I have to claim experience and wisdom now to hold the higher ground. So.
Right, of course. Do you feel your age? How do you feel? Feeling good?
No, I don't feel. I feel younger than I am.
Yeah. And does it really go so fast as people say?
Yeah, and as long as that continues, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. As long as you're feeling good.
Sure. As long as I'm feeling younger than I am, then right. What do I have to complain about?
It is such a crazy thing, though, as I get older, to just go, what happened to 10 years? Well, hold on here. It's such a it's a reality, I guess, right?
It's something you can't do anything about.
You can't do nothing about it. That's why you really get too crazy about it, right?
Well, they try, though. I remember a guy saying that by the year 2100, man will be so artificial that he'll be practically immortal. They'll have artificial parts.
It's got to be expensive, though. Maybe some people will.
It'll be very expensive, and I don't know how
Cats like us, though, they'll just leave us to be on our own. There'll be a couple of guys with, prosthetic genitals and brains and all kinds of things.
I could use a pair of those right now.
Really? Well, we'll see where technology takes us.
The more the merrier.
Exactly. So, Ed, you're an inspiration to a 16-year-old.
That's great to know.
2014.
That's great to know. I love youth. Our future.
Yeah.
I believe the future's our children. Let them lead the way.
So, as you can tell, OJ's not here with us after the show's been already on for 20 minutes. We're already talking about this, but OJ's not here. OJ's back from his trips, and he's in the process of moving and all that stuff. And I was able to speak with him. I know you spoke with him as well, right?
I did. I talked to him last night.
How did he sound to you? He's doing okay?
He sounded fine. He said, when you called, I was at LAX. I thought I was only there for an hour.
Yeah.
But I ended up being there for 3 hours, and I said, well, if you had known, I would have driven out to the airport just to pay a visit.
Oh, that would have been something.
But they didn't know how long they were going to be delayed, so I didn't get to see him. And I didn't know where he was. I thought he was in Singapore, and he said, no, I was in Tokyo and Australia.
We don't know where he goes. He just disappeared. And
I said, was this business, pleasure, promotion? What?
I don't know. What was it?
So, well, it was mostly pleasure. I did some promotion, and I remember the clips he had, the one that was upside down.
Right, yeah.
And then the next week he sent one of him playing Tetra. Is that the name of that?
Tetris. Yes.
Yeah. And it didn't look like he was playing very well.
No, he's not very good. But, there's no video of OJ today, but actually I'll be seeing OJ on Saturday. And we'll be filming. Yes, we'll be filming some stuff for the Shenanigans Hole Punch DVD / Blu-ray.
Oh,
And we got a full day of shooting to do. So we're going to film a bunch of little things and additional content, Ed. That's what it's all about.
Excellent.
Extra content. Excellent. So, this DVD is really crazy. I told you a little bit about it. But what I did is I basically rebuilt every episode from scratch over the last couple months. It's been pretty intense.
It's going to be some problem.
Yeah, all of them are really much improved. So I'm looking forward to see what you think about it.
Yeah.
But episode 8 I'm on right now, and if you remember episode 8, there's a lot of like black spots in between scenes. They're like kind of like a couple seconds of just black. And those are completely gone now, and there's all kinds of different transitions, and it's really much improved. And I changed the color of the Ninja Italian's vomit. There's now CGI leaves.
Yeah, we were all concerned about the color of their vomit, John.
Yeah, so this is almost like it had become an obsession, Ed. I've lost my mind on this, but just trying to make it, I feel like this is the final versions.
It was green, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's different now.
And the Schnozman emitted purple, didn't
This
he?
is a blue, but
Okay.
I'm really going crazy on this. We might say it's a kind of an unhealthy obsession, but I feel like this is the final versions of it, and I'm just really just doing everything I can to make it as good as possible, and then this thing will come out eventually. So stay tuned for that.
Okay.
So
okay, I admire your dedication to the product. Anything worth doing is worth doing well.
Exactly. Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it the best you can. Ed.
Yeah, like with writing, writers. The work isn't in the writing. When you write, that's it's catharsis. That's therapy.
Yeah.
It's in the rewriting. It's in the
details.
The drafts. Yeah.
It's the details that really bring it to life. Is what I'm finding. Even little things. A lot of little things add up to a flawless thing in a lot of ways. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of writing, sir. You sent me some stuff in the mail.
Yeah, and speaking of little things.
To our P.O. Box, which is, it's Stay Ballsy, P.O. Box 3362, Danbury, Connecticut, 06813. But Mr. Ed Trotta sent me a package here, and I will cherish this forever. Got several scripts from Mr. Ed Trotta, and I got this this note here, Ed. I want you to explain this.
Okay.
You sent me a note. And handwritten, first of all, which is very rare these days, right? Handwritten note. I don't think people even know how to write anymore. But you sent me this letter, and you wrote, "We can't give up." What does this mean, Ed? Explain this.
What does that mean? We can't give up. It means, well, you're an example. You're not giving up. You're not done with Schnozman and Hole Punch and just moving on and leaving it there. You're going back.
No, I should, but I'm not giving up. No.
No, we can't give up what we love. We can't give up. We can't just roll over and say, okay, that's it. I'm finished. I didn't make it. Because then you're not happy. You're only happy when you're. It's the quest. It's the journey. Is the whole thing. The product is what we have our fingers crossed for. But the process. It's process. That's what every actor will tell you. It's the process. The rehearsal process. That's why that's why actors are so devoted to the stage, is because they get rehearsal time. And, on TV and film, it's so economically oriented. There's very little process. There's all product.
Preparation.
Preparation. Right.
So I got 2 scripts from you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask you a little about scripts and things like that. First of all, I never actually saw a script before. The way I write my stuff, I write my stuff on like napkins and loose leaf paper. But as you can see here, it's like this is like a standard font and a standard format for these things.
Right. There are software products like Final Draft or Final Cut, and they help you format. When you finish with a dialogue and hit the Enter key, it'll automatically go to Cut to Interior, or you change int or ent. X, whatever. So it's got all the, what do they call those things? When you abbreviate, it's just like the
cursor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Spell
it just
check,
automatically goes to what's supposed to be next.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And it'll put continued at the bottom of the page if the dialogue.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
Is just going on. You don't have to even write that.
Uh-huh. I like it's interesting how you describe the setting, like what you're looking at, and helpful things for the actors. It's good.
Good.
I tell them nothing. I really don't tell them anything.
If you're referring to that, I don't know. You're probably looking at the Hot Creek script.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a more straight up. What is that? 120 pages, 110.
Yeah,
something
it's
like that.
Seems like a full film feature.
Yeah, it's a straight up, low budget action thriller. It's designed to be affordable. There are no pyrotechnics, no car explosions. There's a hang glider, a windsurfer. There is the use of a helicopter is the most expensive thing I think in that script. Is the use of a helicopter for maybe 2 days.
Yeah,
is the most expensive thing in the script.
Must be such a crazy process, because what if they're you can't have a helicopter, rewrite this, and you got to come up with some other type of vehicle, you got to go in there,
right,
rewrite it, becomes a moped because you only have a budget of
could be a moped,
$500, whatever it is.
No, they're the Nevada police. They got to have at least a black and white.
Has that ever happened to you, where they say rewrite a tremendous amount of this? And what is that like?
In fact, that script was seen by a guy from Unicorn Productions, and he had these changes he wanted me to make. And so I made them all. And then I didn't like the script nearly as much as the original that I had given him.
Huh.
And I thought, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to. If you like the script enough that you wanted to make these changes, then buy the script and do the changes if you want. But I've had that happen where people have, taken my stuff and said, no, I couldn't get anybody to salute this. And then a year later, I'd see pieces of it on,
Oh, really? Steal it?
Right. Yeah.
Dirty thieves.
Well,
wow, that's funny.
It's hard to prove that something didn't get lodged in their head that they remembered later, or maybe that was just in the air. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
do you enjoy the process of the writing? Do you like to do it alone? It can be kind of a solitary thing. You're kind of just alone there in the darkness.
Yeah, and I've decided that I'm not going to write anything new for a while because I've got 200 pounds of scripts here.
Really? Wow. What do you have? These just in boxes, or?
I've got them in manila envelopes. Let me see if maybe my webcam.
Let's take a look at these.
Well,
let's read through all of them right now here live on the air.
We'll show you that I call it my Tower of Babel.
Oh wow! Look at this! Wow, all scripts, huh?
Those are all scripts. And yeah, I consider them by the pound because it's easier than counting them. I've got screenplays, adaptations, original.
But you have like the digital versions as well, right?
Well, there was one script that was 425 pages because it was dialogue for 10 characters all at the same time.
Wow.
And you pick a character to follow. This was going to be a simultaneous theater piece. You pick a character out of 10 to follow, and you follow that person through. This was a big hit in the 80s in Hollywood. There was a show called Tomorrow where you picked one of the characters and you went wherever they went. And then every once in a while, there'd be this whole reconvention of all the characters, and you either knew what was going on or you were shit out of luck if you picked the wrong character.
What was this, this was like a TV show or something? What?
Oh, it was a live theater event.
Oh, it was a live theater event. Okay, I see. Huh.
And I called the author. He was living in New York, and he was really pissed that they did that with it. He said that it wasn't written to be seen that way.
Uh-huh.
But I wrote my play to be seen that way, so that no matter who you follow, you get information that nobody else has, which is pertinent to. It's a murder mystery. There's a double homicide, and you're a reporter at a speakeasy.
Yeah.
And your assignment is just to find out who's the supplier, where do they hide the hooch. But then this guy walks in early in the play, Butch Capella, who says, there was just a murder last night, Max Sullivan and Blackie at the warehouse. So suddenly everybody's a suspect. And now you're, as a reporter, on a double homicide, and you have to start following different people. So that took 3 years to write.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years. And how much are you working on this every day, or what goes on with this?
I was pretty on fire with that script. I would wake up and I would put the Cotton Club on. Because that was the era of music,
Oh, wow, you really get into it.
Yeah, I get into it. And I have charts. I mean, I'm not going to pull them out now, but the whole play is divided into 15-second intervals, so that you have time, place, and action is the movement of the.
I think we should get them all out right now. We'll go through them right now. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's the 10-hour show. I think we'll do one day.
Right. No, there's 20 hours worth of viewing to it.
Wow.
If you went to see, because it's about a 2-hour play, and if you went to see each character, each of the 10 characters, to get their POV, that was the problem, is making each character a protagonist. Because the protagonist is the one with the inner conflict and the one who goes through the most change. And so nobody could be stereotypical, really.
Do you like that, to have that kind of a project looming over you for such a long period of time? Does it stress you out? Or does it excite you? Something to get you up in the morning and to work to? I have this to work on.
I enjoyed that, and I learned a lot of things from it. Because I realized, I need a 2-minute scene between Lou and Maggie in the champagne bar. So, given all of those restrictions, you see, writers find more freedom in restrictions than they do with a blank page. The blank page is the most daunting thing to a writer. You give a writer, parameters. What I have a lot of in here are TV spec scripts.
What is that? Explain that.
You're given I have one of the first things I wrote was a Northern Exposure episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that was a favorite show of mine, and it had 10 regulars. So I had a variety of people, but it was a favorite show, and I would sit there writing and humming their theme song. So that's a spec script. Now, not necessarily for Northern Exposure, because generally producers don't want to read scripts that they are producing, but it could be one for, it could be an example for something else, for a CSI or for a Quantum Leap.
Right, you just got to make some little alterations to it.
Right.
Could be an X-Files, you throw an alien in there.
I wrote a Seinfeld episode.
Really? I would love to take a look at that one.
Yeah, it's called Puppets and Bunnies.
Oh, that's awesome. So it was just kind of stuff that was just on during the time, and you just go, let me just throw that together, kind of challenge yourself and see what you can do.
My writing dates me because of the shows. The last thing I wrote for, the most recent, was Joan of Arcadia.
I would love to, which you should, maybe, I don't know, you could think about doing this, we could put them up on a website or something, because people do this all the time. They call it fan fiction, and people write their own versions of a story for the show or something.
And how did they get away with that in terms of royalties?
I don't think it's they're trying to make money on it. I think it's just kind of a public display, where other people could come in and take a look at it and stuff like that.
Sorry, I don't do anything for free. This is the only thing I do for free.
Well, I do everything for free, so that's where we did. Well, I have no choice, I guess, but that's where we differ. But my point is, it would be great to see some of that. Because knowing you, I'm sure it'd be very entertaining. Ed Trotta's Seinfeld episode, and that's salivating over this thought.
Like we could.
What does Newman do in this?
Well, we could call it Steinfeld.
Okay, yeah. We'll make a whole.
Instead of George.
We'll just make the show.
Yeah, just make it up. Use the same. And they'd be recognizable though, and I don't think they'd be allowed. They were spec scripts to show that I could write this genre. I would use a Murphy Brown in hopes of getting a Mad About You.
Right. Yeah.
See, if you can write for Murphy Brown, you can write for Mad About You.
Right.
If you could write a MacGyver, you can write a Quantum Leap.
So you've done quite a bit of writing here, sir. Were you ever were you ever trained or anything? School for any of this, or?
Well, I've always enjoyed writing.
You just did it.
Yeah. I wrote poems for the high school newspaper. I wrote some short stories.
Hmm.
And when the writers' strike hit in '88, I thought, well, somebody's got to write, So I thought this would be my
Oh, you
opportunity.
tried to cross the lines there, huh?
Try to cross the
Try
line
to
and be a
steal some.
scab.
Hey,
And
you gotta do what you gotta do out there.
and then I just got hooked on writing.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was very prolific in the late '80s, early '90s.
awesome.
I
Yeah,
haven't written.
there's a magic to it. You create your own world,
Hmm.
A lot of times you're dissatisfied with what you got going on, the world around you. You could create your own universe, right?
That's it. That's right.
Certain things. So,
That's right.
kind of off topic, but as we're talking about shows and everything, did you see Boardwalk Empire? I know you like the show. Did you see the finale?
I didn't see the finale
Oh,
yet.
okay. Yeah, just maybe a couple weeks ago was the final episode.
I heard. My sister and brother-in-law have it on tape. And they sent me the first 3 seasons, and I'm
Okay.
only halfway through the second season.
Oh, you got a ways to go. All right.
I got a ways to go. I
Alright.
can only watch that show for like 40 minutes at a time. It's so rich. It's so romantic.
Yeah.
And violent.
I can only
And
do maybe one a day.
Yeah.
It's just it's really.
See, they were ones to sit down and have a Boardwalk Empire marathon and just watch
Oh
10
God,
hours.
how do I know?
No, I think I'd be nuts at the end of that.
I don't like to do that. People do that now. It's the binge watching, but it's you can't really absorb as much. I think, right? And all it kind of feels more disposable that way, just to sit there and 6 hours straight. How
I
much
don't
of that
know,
do you really
yeah.
take in? I mean, I don't know.
Oh. They do that on The Big Bang Theory, don't they? Do you watch
Oh
that
yeah,
show?
I've seen it a couple times. It's always on. It's like on multiple channels,
Yeah.
like at the same time, so it's kind of unavoidable. So
Right.
I never really, I'll never like sit down to watch it ever, but I'll have it on. It'll just be around in the
Like,
background.
I think it's a well-written show. It's like I have a brother-in-law who's an astrophysicist. He's got
Really?
equipment on Hubble, and talking to him is like talking to one of those guys on Big Bang Theory. Um, I'd yank his chain and say, "So, Michael, what's new in zero gravity?" Or when are you going to solve the problem of perpetual motion? And it would just like drive him nuts. He said, "Ed, these are empirical natural physics laws. They will never be broken." Ah, didn't they say that about flight? Didn't they say that about time travel? Now you've discovered wormholes.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to believe in the possibility in order to make it happen.
that's right. Ever since playing Nietzsche, I've thought, wow, here was a guy who was thinking it's all useless unless it leads us to beyond the microcosm of human life. He considered human life to be, let's say there was a distant star on which clever animals invented knowledge. That was the most mendacious minute in world history, but only a minute. After nature had drawn a few breaths, the star grew cold, clever animals had to die. One might invent such a story and still not have sufficiently illustrated how wretched, how aimless and arbitrary the human intellect appears in nature. For this intellect has no mission beyond that of human life, making it very small. So the guy who asked him the question says, "Well, I'm sorry I asked." But ever since I mentioned Nietzsche on this show or on Twitter,
Yes.
I've been getting followers
Yeah.
that call themselves Nietzsche or Nietzsche.
Yeah. That happened to me also because I think I said something. You said something to me, or something happened, and it's weird. There's all these different bots and stuff on Twitter, and it kind of picks up all these
Right.
guys talking about this.
Right.
So we're now connected to you. But let's get into that a little bit because last time you were on the program, you were getting ready to do a show,
Right.
and then that happened. So how did it go, sir, with all this?
Oh, it went well. We were well attended, full houses, and I loved playing Nietzsche. I had that opening monologue. I had the closing monologue. I exited through the entrance to the theater so that when everyone was taking their bow, I was pounding on the door, let me in, and took center stage to bow. And a director saw me in that show and asked me to play a character called Reverend Avery in the reading of a screenplay. Now, this Show Your Wound, where I play Nietzsche, was a play.
Yes.
Bro was the name of the screenplay, was also being read on stage. People carrying scripts.
Okay, so they're doing like a script reading. So it's so someone.
Stage. Yeah.
People attend and they see, and if someone wants to make it into a film or something, they'll
Exactly.
take a look at what it is and okay.
Right.
Wow.
So in the second one, I was Reverend Avery, who's a retired minister who hits on all the widows at funeral services.
Yeah, yeah.
Even the grieving widow, he hits on.
Oh, very nice.
So it was a comic role, and it was very different. It was very fun, and it's been a while since I'd been thought of as a comic actor, and yet I used to be, but it's been a long time. But there is a secret to good comic acting.
What is the secret to a good
Timing.
Well.
Oh, I didn't let you get the. No.
That might have been the wrong timing there, or the right. I don't know. I'm not sure what you were going for, but
Yeah.
it's all about the timing.
It's all about timing,
What do
and
you
that's
mean by
why
this?
it's easier to do comedy on stage, because you can hear or feel the audience, so you know how long to pause.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're doing comedy for a camera, unless the crew is laughing, you don't know how long to wait to top your line.
Mm.
When you're on stage, there's a rapport, and you can feel it. So, by and large, it's easier to make it funny.
If you're doing a podcast, you just wind up talking over the other person by accident,
Mm-hmm.
and it all gets eaten up.
Yeah.
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 But huh. So yeah, it's some good. It's interesting stuff. So it was kind of like one thing led to another thing.
One thing led to another, and I'm going to have lunch with that director.
Oh, it's still going, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I have ideas. He's got projects. We'll see where we can help each other.
Yeah, it's all about it.
The best part about it was the people I met. I hadn't, been pounding the boards for a long time, and it felt good to get back on stage as something other than Lincoln.
Did you wind up reverting into Lincoln at any time? Did you have to fight the Lincoln urge?
Mm-mm.
Like you're on stage, all of a sudden Lincoln starts possessing you.
No, he doesn't. No, he's not like a demon that comes out of me. There's no schizophrenia there. Without the beard and mole and top hat.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that stuff on anybody, they look like Lincoln.
Right. I guess I'll tell. I had this idea. I told you about it, but if you played Lincoln, and had people send you questions. That are could be any kind of question, any kind of modern questions about how do I operate my iPad. How do I
Right.
this electric razor cut me? How do I repair it? Just, and then have Lincoln from his time period try to make sense of this.
Yeah.
And he starts going misinterprets what people are saying, and I think it'd be very funny. I don't know.
Well, I
try to do
have
this,
a
man.
little with that in my play, where he says, "Oh, I must make a note of that."
Uh-huh.
He says, "Ooh, with a ballpoint pen,"
Yeah.
because that's new since his day. And then he writes. He says, "On a post-it."
Yes.
My congratulations on these wonderful inventions. And I remember when I was on the cruise ship doing Lincoln, going to Bermuda with my daughter, and I had this little routine called Questions from a Stovepipe Hat. And I would put some loaded questions in there, questions that I knew what I would want to answer. But there were some genuine questions. One guy said, "What has been the most significant invention since your day?"
Mm.
I thought about computers, I thought about medical advances.
Yeah.
And then I said, "And what is your opinion, sir, citizen?" And he said, "Refrigeration."
Yeah. Right.
And I thought, wow, that is, that allowed us to go into space.
Yeah.
That allowed us, to control environment. Refrigeration, knowing how to. Okay, I learned something
absolutely.
today.
Yeah. Right. But I think it would be good if you approached it like you have no idea what he's talking about. It's
Like
almost like
refrigeration.
It's almost like a time traveler came to Lincoln's time and had this question: how do I repair my computer? Or
right.
How many gigs should my laptop really have, or something? And then just try to come up with some kind of
Well, how many does it currently have? Oh, well, I suggest it needs more.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, that'd be the politician answer, right? Just try to go with the flow on it and say something. Just make it seem like you know what you're talking about. So, yeah, that's good, man. I like that.
Well, terrorism is a word that didn't exist in Lincoln's day.
Oh, yeah. It sounds. I think you would understand it though. It sounds bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you would think it's some kind of like pastry or something. I think you would understand it's some sort of a bad thing. Right.
Well, I have saying, what is that? It's not a country with borders that can be penetrated. It's not an individual who can be apprehended and brought to justice. It's not a philosophy, a government, or any recognized religion. It's a way, a means, an idea, devoid of conscience, destruction as its goal. How does one combat an idea, save perhaps with another idea? Well, and the other thing that boggles him is the idea of limited warfare that we've had to live with ever since splitting the atom. Because what does that mean? We sort of attack the enemy?
Yeah.
Because in his day, you did all out. You went all out to defeat your enemy.
Right, yeah.
Now we have something called limited warfare because we want to not use nucleonics or biological or, but, all of this is available to us.
You do enough to appease one opinion and try to appease the other opinion at the same time, I think,
Yeah, it's an awkward thing.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Speaking of that, did Election Day was recently. Was it last week?
Yeah, last Tuesday.
What did you think about this year? What's going on? Anything locally happening that's big time, or just nothing really?
John, I'm sort of apolitical, and it's because, the funding for the arts is just like, it's almost useless, given all of the needs of our budget. And what I experienced during an election period is when it begins, all the candidates are talking about the things they're for. And I get energized, I get jazzed to vote for something that I hear is in my interest, that I think is good. And then, and I'm determined to vote. And then about 4 days, maybe a week before the actual election day, all they're doing is mudslinging.
Yeah.
What a crook they are. How they ruined things, how they took a surplus and made it a deficit, and how they turned their back on their children. And, and suddenly they're all crooks to me.
Yeah, it just turns you off to the whole thing.
Takes all the
do you ever get the call, the phone call, and it's like a recording and they're just bashing another person? It's like, oh, thank you for calling me and letting me know your opponent is such a scumbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get calls and just really out of control,
Yeah, the Democratic Party was just hitting me for, like 3 times a day to donate money.
Were you ever, really into politics at any point? Like, you really were tuned in on, you were sharp, you knew what was going on, you thought you could get involved?
I never knew what was going on. I was maybe into politics when Kennedy was elected because I was in Catholic school and he was the first Catholic president, so we thought it was going to be good for Catholicism. I don't know why.
Whatever that means, what would that do,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
I feel like it's kind of sad to say, but as I get older, I feel like I am more and more try to just avoiding it. I feel like when I was younger, you get the ability to vote, and I knew stuff was going on. I was involved. I thought I could get involved in it, and you feel like you could change things.
That's important. You can. Every vote counts. And
yeah. But I feel like as I got older, it's just you see it's all the same guy. It's all the same guy running. I guess you get cynical, I guess, and then you just it's like why does it even matter? You can't do nothing, which is really the wrong way to look at it. But
Lincoln
it's such a machine that you can't. It's a monster.
Yeah. It has become so. It wasn't always. It wasn't always. There used to be so many political parties. There were secessionists and abolitionists and Democrats and Republicans and and Lincoln was someone who did wield the power. There was one cabinet meeting where there were 7 nays, and Lincoln was an aye. He said the ayes have it after the 7 nays because he was president. He could veto it all, and that was for a conscription act, which was a draft. What we call the draft now.
Yeah. If more people were involved, I think we could change things, But it's almost designed to kind of just suck, and not want to, just to make you feel like you can't do anything.
Well, see, politically,
that way,
my generation were the hippies who would say, who said, "This is not the way.
Yeah.
The way we're going is not the way." And people would say, "All right, show us what is the way."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they'd say, "Well, we don't know what is. We just know it isn't this."
Yeah.
I'd love to change the world, but I don't know what to do.
And then if you really get involved in it, then you become demonized, and and by the other whoever's opposing you, and it's just all that stuff goes on, and it's a big disaster, Ed. It gives you a headache, and you just want to kind of leave me alone.
So what else do you want to talk about?
I got enough problems already, and so yeah.
Right.
Let's see here. Have you keeping up with the outer space stuff? I know
we landed, and I'm pretty impressed by landing a
probe.
A probe, thank you.
Comet probe.
A moving asteroid.
Is that it's a comet? I guess is that what a comet is?
It's a comet. Yeah.
A comet's a moving asteroid, or is that different?
I don't know how.
Because asteroids are moving in the game. You ever play the game Asteroids? They move in that thing.
Oh yeah.
You were supposed to be an astronaut, right? Your father. You told us this once. Your father wanted you to be a space guy or something.
Yeah. He saw the space age coming. Thought that would be a good thing for me.
Yeah.
And it did give me an interest in astronomy and the stars and constellations, but it was more of a passion than a livelihood thing.
Right. That must have been another thing from your time period that was just an amazing thing, the moon landing.
The moon landing in '69, I watched that.
Did you think, now it's on, now we're going to all the planets, now we're going to live up in the moon, and within 10 years, and we're going to have a flying car, and,
Oh, yeah. All that stuff made sense to me. All the cartoons that would show the future, where
Lost
a car
in
would
space.
respond to something and program where it's going, and the car would make all the changes. There'd be no accidents.
Yeah, I would think, because, if you're like, we just went to the moon, a man's on the moon, you would think, now is the next step, right? 2 years from now will be man's on Mars. 5 years from now,
well,
Mars building a Walmart on the moon.
Mars has been suspicious for a long time because of the canals of it, and perhaps there is liquid, perhaps there is an atmosphere, and perhaps there is life or has been life.
It's funny you bring that up. I kind of follow this, and there's something on Mars. There's like a rover or something. What do they call these things? I guess it's a probe as well. I don't know. It goes up there and takes photos.
Land rover, yeah.
And every day it takes pictures, and people think they see things in these pictures. Every day is something new, and someone thought they saw a thigh bone, a Mars rat.
Mars?
A Mars rat.
Wow.
A door handle. These are all things that people like in these photos.
Handle.
People think they see these things in these photos. And there's no real way of saying they're wrong, but most likely it's just rocks. It's just rock formations, right?
Yeah.
So it just seems out of control every day. It's like there's a new thing. But even if there was like a thigh bone, a door handle, these aren't very exciting things. I don't think would even be newsworthy, really.
But you wonder who left them there.
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, if they're gone now, I mean, obviously it's burned. I mean, if they find something really interesting up there, then wake me up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
A Mars laser. That'd be something. A Martian laser gun. I would be interested in that. Or
yeah, I'd like one of those in Koreatown traffic.
Martian pornography. They find that ancient Martian pornography. That'd be something. But I mean, a Mars rat. I'm not interested.
Okay. It would be stranger to think that we are the only life form.
It's a little arrogant to think that, right?
Than to think that there are others.
Yeah, it's a little cocky, I think.
Yeah.
What are they doing on this comet? Do you know anything about this? I tried to kind of figure it out, but
they think that that it's somehow going to help them learn how life began on the planet.
Really?
I don't understand that.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh. Huh. That'd be something. Imagine they figure this out and they have a news conference one day.
Yeah.
We've discovered where life comes from and the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
Here's our news conference, and they explain it to everyone. The purpose of life. Imagine they knew that.
Life all came from George Carlin, and the meaning of life is that shit happens.
It's the Monty Python film, I think. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah, that's something there. Huh.
So.
Yes.
Space age politics.
All kinds of things, Ed.
Huh?
What's going on with your Blizzard stuff? I saw that you tweeted today.
Yeah.
About Stormrage, right? What happened here?
Yeah, I just said, how's he doing? Because I don't know. Every time I go in the booth, at the end of the session, they ask me for death throws. That always makes me nervous.
This is Malfurion?
Just in case. This is for Malfurion.
What's a death throw? That's what it says, death throw? And what do you do?
Death throws. It's just like, like he's been killed,
Does someone who's dying actually make a noise like that? In the movies, I guess.
Yeah, you make that sound on the, they record, and you do each line 3 times. But I haven't played the game. I played Diablo to watch my performance as Tyrael, and then and it took me like a month and a half just to get to my character. So when they gave me World of Warcraft, and I just started, I said, I'm not going there. I can't do it. I can't. I'm not. What's the word? Dexterous enough with the equipment or the storyline, the lore, to really, I don't know.
Do they know, like the guys at the sound booth guys? Are they just doing the audio? Do they even know if you ask them, like, hey, what's going on here?
Well, they give me the setup. They tell me what's going on at the moment.
So they
help me with
this guy's getting stabbed.
But I can't put it all together into a storyline. All I'm doing is giving them lines that are non sequiturs as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So you today on Twitter, you're getting involved in Twitter, Ed, big time. You're a Twitter guy.
A little bit, every once in a while.
So I put you asked on Twitter what's going on with Stormrage. Is he alive? Because I had to do a death throw. So what's going on?
Yeah, the guy said, no, he's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got a tweet from Moonsbro. And he said, in recent games, he's playable and can die. But it's not a storyline death. So don't worry, Malfurion will be around for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
So you're all right.
See, if you're playing Hearthstone, it's like a card game, and you can take out another character. But it's not in the World of Warcraft storyline lore.
Okay.
It's just like a side thing for their subscribers.
It's a little fantasy action, dream game or something.
Because they also have characters from Starship 2 and from Diablo. Yeah. So as Stormrage, you can fight Diablo or commander of the.
When you go to do the audio, is it like a studio or is it like their actual facility? Is it like a Blizzard building or something, or is it just like a private thing they rent out or something?
It's a sound booth. I'm in the sound.
All right, so it's not like a the Blizzard.
It's not like a
headquarters or
real close one. Some of them are like tiny. They're like a shower.
Huh.
The one I go to at I think it's called L.A. Studio
Right.
on Kauai, and it's a nice sized room. You can.
Give you like catering or?
They have a nice flush kitchen there.
Oh, really? Oh, very nice.
You can take a break, get a bagel.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because you can only screen for a couple of hours.
Did you ever socialize with the other voice actors or meet them or anything? Or?
No, we don't work together.
Yeah. Just wondering if maybe somewhere else you said, hey,
yeah,
my character killed yours.
They shuffle it. Oh, no, they're not worried about us carrying, like, you killed me. I'll see you in the parking lot, motherfucker.
You could probably spread some rumors just to get them all nervous. I heard your guy's gone the next game. It's getting taken out by me. What do you think about that?
Yeah. See you in the parking lot. I got a tire iron.
How did you? I know you've told the story before, but I just how did you get the gig with Blizzard in the first place?
Well, originally it was a theatrical audition, and I don't know why. I don't know, but it wasn't in a sound booth. It was at a conference table in Ventura, and I just had like a tape recorder, like reel to reel, and a microphone. And the first character they cast me as was Tyrael, and Malfurion. They just said, you can do this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think I auditioned for Malfurion. I just read for Tyrael, and then they took that from me in Diablo 3. But by then I was already Stormrage, and apparently that's a bigger deal. I don't know. I don't know
either. Mark Crown in the chat right now says there's a game, I don't know, Worlds of Draenor is coming out. Are you in this game? I don't know. Mark, do you know if the character's in the game? Can you verify this? Maybe there's a new game coming out now with you in it. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I don't know anything about it. I used to work at the game store, so I used to sell these games.
The last thing I did, I think, was called Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
That was after Hearthstone.
Yes.
And it was Heroes of the Throne, or no, it was originally Blizzard All-Stars.
Right, yeah, you told me about that, and you're like, you can't say anything about this, but I'm doing Blizzard All-Stars.
Right, Blizzard All-Stars. It sounds too much like a basketball team to me. So that's the one that I think they renamed Heroes of the Throne, and then I think it was renamed Heroes of the Storm, and I think it's in beta testing now.
Okay.
So
yeah, like I said, I used to sell a lot of these games, and I worked at the game store, and little did I know you were on all these games. So I would someday do a show with you at this very moment, in 2014.
How about that?
Wow, it's a frightening thought.
Well, I told you, when kids find out I'm Malfurion Stormrage, they go, "Oh, you're Malfurion. You're Malfurion Stormrage."
Yeah.
I'm not going to play anymore. It's like, because he's a buff little guy. He's. And then they see who voices him, and I think they get disappointed.
You gotta do the voice and just yell at them as loud as you can. They'll be afraid.
Right.
How dare you?
My minions will be on you.
Yeah, while you sleep tonight, they will come for you.
Yeah.
That'll get them. That'll get them going there.
Yeah.
I like it. So we were talking about Twitter a little bit, social media stuff.
Yeah.
So I read the story today about Bill Cosby. And I guess they were trying to, on his Twitter account, they're trying to get some action for him. So they put some pictures of him out, and they asked people to put captions on the photos of Bill Cosby. So here's Bill's picture, try to make a meme, try to write some text on it, caption the photo. So of course people just put all kinds of crazy stuff. They wrote all kinds of, bad things about him on these photos. Oh, they were kind of asking for it with that kind of a.
I suppose they led with their chin on that.
Yeah. So I mean, it didn't really work out too well. So it was a big disaster, and I guess they had some problems with that. But the whole social media thing, you've been kind of involved in it for a little bit now. You got the Twitter going. So what is your take on this?
It's just a little bit that I Twitter, because they happen. If I'll Twitter something, and then 5 minutes later go back and see that it's way down there, that there have been so many tweets in the last 5 minutes that, the only people that get anywhere using it just do that all day long. In fact, some people hire people to Twitter for them.
Yeah, I guess what happened with Bill Cosby. That's why I was, that was pretty much what happened. Someone's genius idea to do this, and it didn't work out too well.
Facebook is a little bit more, what's the word, restricted. Things you post only go out to your friends.
Yeah.
And I get notifications in my email when someone mentions me in a Twitter or Facebook. But I don't know. They keep coming up with new ones. Because there's LinkedIn and there's
it's too many. I draw the line at the Twitter. That's it.
Gotta draw the line someplace.
I draw the line somewhere. Yes.
Yeah.
It seems to be a little. It's obviously exploded. It seems to be getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I think people are kind of giving more and more of their personal life, putting it out there. To some degree, there's been some repercussions to that. A lot of negative things happen because of this, and
right.
Of course, it wasn't intentional that these photos got out there, but the celebrities got the photo hacks.
There's usually a
crime.
Link. There's usually a link to click on, and I never click on links that are posted on Twitter because you don't know where it's going to take you or what kind of virus you're going to get.
Yeah, there's a lot of malicious activity going on. So, I mean, do you think that, this is obviously exploded, it's getting bigger and bigger. Do you think there'll be a generation in the future, this could be decades from now, that pulls back from this? Because everything kind of becomes old and passé at some point.
Right.
And
well, that was kind of the premise of, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Max Headroom.
Yeah, that was like to be honest with you, that was like one of the first things I remember watching.
Okay, because that was in the mid-'80s.
Yes.
And
he was on the Letterman show. I remember seeing that. They had the TV set up, and he was interviewed by Letterman. Yeah.
Matt Lauer, I think is the guy's name, who played Max Headroom.
Matt Lauer, the guy from the, I don't know if it was him.
The guy who played the robot, the RoboCop.
Okay.
Anyway, that show started with the expression 20 minutes into the future, like 20 minutes from now.
Uh-huh.
But on the set, on the sound stage, there were all these computers that were trash all over the place.
It's Matt Frewer is his name?
Oh, wait, yeah, that's it. Matt
Frewer.
With an F.
Yeah.
Frewer, right.
Yes.
And it seemed to take place post-computer apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
When things got sort of back to Wild West,
Right. Yeah.
So it was an interesting statement they made. 20 minutes into the future,
because where does it all wind up? Do we just keep the technology just keeps building and improving and I mean, right? Yeah. It's where does it all go? What does it lead to?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm saying, like everything's not cool anymore, Eventually. So, or will there be something will happen maybe, where it's just, I don't know, will open people's eyes maybe, or something. Will there be a generation that kind of goes, yeah, maybe I don't need to like put all my stuff right out there for everybody, and kind of goes in the opposite direction.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe they'll even laugh. Look at these people from 2015 posting their dinner and their
Yeah.
Their selfie of, whatever, so they
Yeah.
go on vacations and just take pictures of themselves. Don't even look
Well,
at
if you
what they're
get a certain
seeing.
number of hits, you get some money.
Not
Right?
on Twitter.
Not on Twitter.
No.
Okay.
So I mean,
I guess.
it's just
Well,
it's just the thing. It's the thing of the day,
Uh-huh.
People don't even know why they do it. It's just what you do. It's just what
Yeah.
it is, right? It's yeah, it'll be an interesting to see what happens with that.
Mhm.
You know,
So, what's your favorite joke, John? Do you have a favorite?
favorite joke?
Yeah.
I don't really know jokes. I don't really. Yeah, I don't
You
really.
don't-
If you were
you don't-
if you were to say tell a joke,
Tell a joke.
I really can't even do it.
No.
No, I have no idea what to do.
Guy walks into a bar. You can't. You can't.
I can't even. No, I really.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not my shtick. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
Were you a joke guy? Were you like with friends? You ever exchange jokes and
Yeah.
that kind of thing? Was that?
A couple stuck with me. A couple of jokes have stuck with me over the years. And I tried to pick what was my favorite. I have like three favorites, and I thought of one that I thought I would do for you because it's a New Yorker joke.
Oh, okay. Is making fun of New Yorkers.
You
That
know,
would be great if you do.
Well, not exactly making fun. Here's the joke. All right,
Okay,
an Englishman, a Frenchman, and a New Yorker go on safari to Africa.
Yeah.
It could happen. But they're all inexperienced, and before you know it, they're all captured by a hostile cannibalistic tribe. And they're strung to poles like this. And the chief goes up to the Frenchman and he says, "We're going to kill you. We're going to eat your flesh and use your skin to cover our canoes. Do you have any last requests?" The Frenchman says, "Oh, mon Dieu. Sacre bleu, this is terrible. Well, I would like to die with honor. May I have my revolver? One bullet only, you see, for me." So the chief turns to the tribe and they all go, "Yeah, okay." So they untie one hand, they give him his pistol, and he goes, "Vive la France." Kills himself.
Yeah.
Chief goes up to the Englishman and says, "We're going to kill you. We're going to eat your flesh. We're going to use your skin to cover our canoes. Do you have any last requests?" The Englishman says, "Oh, I say, that is a bit of bad luck, isn't it? Well, I too would like to die with honor. May I have my pistol, please? One bullet also." Chief turns to the tribe and says, "Sure, go ahead." So they untie one hand, he takes his gun, he goes, "Long live the Queen." Kills himself.
Yeah.
Chief goes up to the New Yorker, says, "We're going to kill you. We're going to eat your flesh. We're going to, yeah, I heard you. I heard you the other times. Look, just bring me a fork, okay?" Chief says, "Yeah, knife and fork. I just want a fork." Chief turns to the tribe, they go, "Sure, why not?" So they untie one hand, they give the guy a fork, he goes, "There's your fucking canoe."
Wow.
Am I allowed to say that word?
Oh yeah. It's quite all right. Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe you gotta be there, you know.
Yeah.
Like
That's
in
one
the jump.
that's dying for like a reenactment or an act. With actors and stuff. A live action version of that one.
The live action version.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is most people in New York aren't from New York anymore, so it's probably going to be,
Well, the New Yorkers moved out, huh?
someone from somewhere else that's now living in New York. That would be the New Yorker. Yeah.
It's like that here too.
Yeah.
Very few locals now.
Yeah. It's just
Seems.
there's people coming in and other people going out. So that's how it goes.
Uh-huh.
When are you coming to New York, Ed?
Oh man, I miss it so much.
Yeah.
I'm mulling over Christmas in New York or
Really?
New England. Yeah,
It's gonna be cold, man.
I know.
You haven't seen cold like that in a while.
I know.
Well, it's not too bad Christmas time. It's really like late January to February where it's
The
annoying.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've already had it for a while, but
It's been years. It's been since Spencer went to college.
Hmm.
Because that was my motivation, was to take her back east, excuse me, at least once a year, usually twice, just to keep her connected to her extended family. And since she's been in college, it's been just hasn't been. It's been awkward to try to find the right time. Last year there was January 13th. Yeah, last year we had tentative plans, and then I was cast as Don Quixote. And that show was going up in early January, so I had to stay here for rehearsals, and then we ended up not doing it, and that's where I put on my Lincoln play. Just so the guy didn't have to eat the rent for the theater. But it was clear that we weren't going to pull that script together in time.
Right.
And until recently, that was the last time I'd been on stage, with the Lincoln play.
Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe this year. It's a long shot. It's just, she's so busy. She took a second job. She's teaching tennis one place. She's working for this other company called Big Red that hires out entertainers for parties.
Right.
Balloon artists, unicyclists, clowns, things like that. And Spencer goes there and keeps things organized and talks to people on the phone about what's for offer and how much and all that stuff. So, she's hitting showbiz from that end, and from the sort of networking end, I guess, at the tennis club. So she's doing all right.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad somebody's doing good.
Yeah. No, she's moving right along. She's doing things correctly.
All right, so Ed, we got a couple questions here I'd like to throw your way, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is from JD. He says, when in your life did you realize, I want to become an actor? And were there times when you doubted in yourself and or wanted to give up chasing the goal?
Wow. He's got a few questions in there.
Yeah, it's deep.
I do remember the moment. It was during an episode of a show called Burke's Law, starring Gene Barry, where he played a detective who drove around in a silver cloud Rolls, drinking martinis with his arm around some beautiful blonde. And he was a detective.
Yeah.
But at some point watching that show, I thought, hey, wait a minute. That's an actor doing a job. That's his job. His job is to ride around in a Rolls Royce drinking a martini with a gorgeous woman. That's a nice job.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's the first time I thought of acting as a job. I didn't take it seriously until I did my first play in senior year of high school. I did Henry VIII, and I was the only guy in the play, and the attention I got was so ego inflating, that when I went to the University of New Hampshire, it was with an eye on the theater department. And about doubts, did he ask? Doubts that you wanted to give?
Yeah, was there ever a time you wanted to give up?
No, because things went pretty well for me. But I mean, you might not know it, but those first 20 years in New York were just a whirlwind. You just got online and slugged it out. Union rules, they had to give you 2 minutes, and I could usually impress somebody with the right prep. And I worked all the time. I worked in
that was the only gig you ever had was to be an actor, right?
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Your only profession you've ever done.
That's all I've ever done. It changed when I got out here.
Actor,
yeah. It changed when I got out here because a job can last a day, 4 days. I think the longest job I had was 10 days doing a MacGyver or a Hunter episode,
Huh.
And, you do a show like Godspell or Hair or Equus, and you could be employed for years.
Yeah.
Traveling all around, seeing the country. It was great. It was a lot of work, 8 shows a week.
Wow.
instead of 8 hours on one day. And then, but the problem is that your product is only in one place at one time when you're on stage.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, no, I don't have any regrets about, choosing it or wanting to give it up. I'd like to expand a little bit. I'm not dedicated to being in front of the camera. I'd just soon be behind. I'd just soon, create some programming and be a producer or a line producer or something besides an actor. The actors are like the plankton of the food chain out here.
Yeah.
But actors are respected when they're on stage, and in New York, they got to know what they're doing. So, anyway,
they get a lot of the credit though in the end if this is a great show or something, right? It's always because they're the face of the show, so it's
Yeah.
Right.
It's too narcissistic. You got to know somebody, and I was always anti that. If I met someone who was in a position to further my career, I made sure I alienated myself from them.
You play the politics, Ed.
Yeah, I got to play the politics. So I hope that answers your question, JD.
Yes, yeah, I think so.
You got another one?
Yeah, this is from 25 Scott.
Okay.
What does Ed think of England? Has Ed ever been abroad? If so, where to? And what did he think of these places? Love you, Ed. You're a great guest.
Thank you. Have I ever been abroad? No, I've always been a guy.
Took me 2 seconds to get that.
It took you a couple of seconds.
Took me a couple seconds.
I went to England.
Really?
I saw, just for a couple of days before going to Paris, and I made sure I went to Baker Street. I wanted to see the Sherlock Holmes site, and I saw a play for $4 because they are nationally supported. The theater is their pride and joy, and I saw some great actors in I think it was Blithe Spirit, and I saw some of the best actors in the world because the RADA, their training ground, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, is so dedicated to skills, and I think that's what American actors too often lack.
They're all playing all the British actors play the Americans in a lot of the movies,
Yeah.
So many.
Because when they take dialect class, it's not just dialects. It's you're going to learn American, you're going to Italian, accents. It's sword play, skills.
Right.
Stanislavski was only introduced to the RADA thinking in recent years. And Stanislavski, the method system, is what American actors are all about. Feeling, inner life, subtext.
Oh yeah.
And that's good for the camera because if you're feeling it, the camera will capture it. I'm not putting that down. In fact, Stanislavski is really the only acting teacher you have to read, I think. Everyone else kind of took their own spins on Stanislavski. Stella Adler and Uta Hagen and Sanford Meisner, they're all variations on the basic.
Did you do any acting in overseas or?
No.
Just you took some trips.
I took a vacation with my girlfriend, becoming my wife, Joanne. We went for 2 months. Spent most of it in Italy.
Wow.
The dollar had a pretty strong exchange at the time, so we took our time and
Great.
So a couple of weeks of Paris, boy, Paris is chock full of things to see. You can see 2 things every day for I don't know how many months. And Italy, it was my native land, so there were relatives to look up and a lot of places to go, lots of art to see there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, this is from Ground Zero.
Oh, he's one of my favorites. He writes me often.
Oh, yeah. Ed, sometimes life has extremely hard moments, such as breakups, divorce, unemployment, death of loved ones. What are your thoughts on the moderate use of alcohol or legal drugs to help coping with these moments? I believe that sometimes having a drink or two in a responsible manner can help as a band-aid in times of crisis. What do you think? Thank you for being so relaxed and cool and for being part of the show.
Ooh.
Wow. It's tough.
It's been my experience that I particularly want to be sober when there's something drastic going on, so I can process it correctly.
Right. It's not really a band-aid, it's more of avoiding the issue, right? A band-aid is something that helps you kind of heal, but the drugs and alcohol, maybe that's kind of trying to remove it from your mind for the time being, but it's still going to be there when you come back to, you know?
Right. I don't recommend that as a way of coping.
Right.
I've been sober for 3 years now, and it's better. That's just look at the records. You know, we just lost Robin Williams and Heath Ledger and people with depression problems and trying to self-medicate themselves. And when 9/11 hit, I was so glad that I was sober because I could understand it. You know, the things that trigger me are like a broken shoelace, or I can't find my cell phone, or I don't know where I left my keys. Can be almost more frustrating. But real devastation requires clear thinking.
Yeah, I think you gotta. The bad times are terrible, but sometimes you have to experience that. You learn from those things.
That's right.
And you have to gotta get those lessons.
Yeah.
They help you appreciate the good times more, and it's certainly not easy to go through these things. I can see why people would have that thought, you know.
Yeah, but what doesn't kill you will make you stronger,
right.
And feelings will pass.
Yeah.
But drugs and alcohol will kill you, unlike feelings.
There you go. Excellent. Okay, this is from the delicious Skooma. It says, what were your impressions of John and OJ when you first met, and how do we know you're the real Ed Trotta, not just a scheming clone?
I don't think anybody would care to impersonate me. Good luck doing it.
It says, what were your impressions of us when you first met, which was probably about 2 years ago, a little bit, maybe a little over 2 years ago.
That's right. No, I was taken up. I was taken immediately by. Well, I think one of the first things you showed me was an episode of Schnozzman Hole Punch, and I thought
maybe a little bit after. And you probably came on, and maybe after that, I was like, "Hey, we put this together, and we take a look if you."
Yeah, I thought here's some good heart. You know, that's what I John and OJ was just good intentions, good heart. Not they had yet to be corrupted. They probably can't wait to get corrupted and rich.
Oh, I would love it. Please.
Right now they are just pure creators, and they seem to like me, and anybody who likes me, I like.
Yeah, that's always been my opinion too. You know, I dig that. I dig that idea.
That's I don't know.
We got a lot of problems. Yeah.
That means. But I was like that with girls too. If I found out a girl liked me,
yeah,
I was hers.
Yeah, what's your type? Anyone that thinks I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know, that's my type, you know. I'm the same way.
Yeah, and I told OJ that you had great guests, co-hosts, but no one that could replace him.
No one could replace OJ?
No one could replace OJ.
Well,
And
don't
it's
let him
just
hear this. He's gonna get a big head. Yeah.
But he thanked me for filling in today.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
Drives me crazy sometimes, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one.
Okay.
It's from Moonsbro.
Oh, hello, Moonsbro.
It says, "Hey Ed, is there any role, musical, play? Well, it's role / musical / play you really want to do but never got the chance, or just feel that you don't fit the role but would really love to do it. For me, I'd really love to be Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, the dentist from Little Shop, and Jean Valjean from Les Mis." So a role that you never had a chance to do.
I actually had an audition for the dentist.
Really? I love the movie.
Little Shop.
It's
I
one of my
love that
favorites.
show.
Yeah.
It was when it was in the Middle House. It had just come out, and it was in New York. And they had the vines coming over the ceiling when the plant got that big. And,
Oh, that's awesome.
I did not get the dentist. Could not. He had a song that I just could. That was tenor, and I'm a baritone.
They couldn't change the key or something for you?
No, they don't want to do that.
Okay,
No.
you gotta do their thing.
I've always wanted to play Salieri in Amadeus. That's a musical. It's not a musical. It's really a play with those musical passages and operatic moments. And I've always wanted to play Salieri. And well, I did play Cyrano and Don Quixote in a non-singing role. I did Man of La Mancha, and I had to act my ass off to sell those songs, because that's another collection of tough songs to sing.
Yeah.
And I'm an actor-singer, not a singer-dancer, singer-actor. So,
Well, where's model fit in there? Actor,
where does
model,
what fit in? Model?
actor, model, dancer, singer.
I don't think they have. No, model is not the threat. That
doesn't count.
It's acting, singing, and dancing.
Okay,
and,
they don't include that.
It's the order that you put them in. See,
Okay.
I'm an actor,
Yeah,
singer, dancer.
I was trying to give you a compliment, Ed. Come on, man.
Oh, I see.
Come on, gotta go, kind of roll with it here.
Okay. Sorry.
It's all right. So did you want to be the dentist and it just didn't work out? But was that a role that you were like excited about?
I thought that would be fun.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And what was that? Oh, he wanted to be. Who did he want to be in
He
the
wants to be
mid?
Gaston,
Gaston.
Beauty and the Beast.
In Beauty and the Beast. Gaston is the host.
No, he's the bad guy that wants to kill the Beast. He likes Belle and the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole thing, Ed.
Well, that's nice to have roles that you're targeting. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Then you can maybe try somehow to. Where does he live?
He's probably here now. He's in California.
Oh, he's in
He's in
California.
California, yeah. I know that
Well,
for
he
sure.
should join like a theater company out
I
here.
think he's in SoCal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, he
Yeah,
should join.
he's involved. He's involved in acting and stuff.
And just work out well and impress them, and then say, how about we do this? How about we do that?
And then when you finally get the role that you wanted, you're very much ready for it, right?
Well, I mean, if he feels right for it, and he's not asking to be the Beast, he's not asking. It's perfectly reasonable. Suggestion.
Yeah.
Except that it's hard to find companies that'll do.
He's in San Fran, he said.
He's in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of theater up there, and it'd probably even be easier to get it mounted up there, because maybe he would find a company that would spring for the royalties for a show with a name. Most of the equity waiver theater around here does new plays because there are no royalties to pay, and when they get grants for promoting new playwrights, etc., it's hard to get recognized plays like that, or cabaret, or you rarely see those done except in the roadhouses, of the Pantages, the Amundsen, you see things come through.
Yeah.
But if you got roles that you're targeting, go after them. Go after them. Try to join a company that'll let you do them.
It's good advice. So we're out of questions for Ed, so if you guys want to fill that up again, go to stayballsy.com, click on the forums, you can post up some more questions for Ed for next time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to do it, man. Your computer handled it pretty well. We had some concern.
It did indeed. It's it's warm, but it's not hot, and I'll be looking forward to this episode when you send me a link to see how it played out.
Oh yeah.
So I can see you.
It's two talking heads, basically. It's mostly how it came off, but
yeah.
it was definitely a fun time, sir.
Okay.
Good. It's a great honor to have you.
I had a blast. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
I want to talk about next week's show for a second. Mm-hmm. So we've been without OJ for some time here. We've been all across the country. We had Jesse from Texas. We had Grog from Iowa. Today we had Ed from Los Angeles, of course. Next week we're venturing to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, Ed. We're going to have my co-host, Mr. Angus Cheng, will be here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually going to be kind of turning the show over to Angus, and he's going to be playing some stuff for us. He's going to actually bring on a guest that he wanted to talk to, who's a fellow game developer.
Yeah, I remember him being on the show once before.
Yeah. So we're going to have Mr. Angus Cheng and a special guest, a game developer that of his choosing that he wanted to come on and we'll interview and talk to and hang out and stuff, and should be a good time. So we'll be here next week on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Usual stuff.
Be sure to tune in.
That's right. So, Ed, that's it, man.
Okay.
It goes so fast, doesn't it?
It does. Thanks for the evening. Had a great time. Go to Ed Trotta Facebook and join up. I'm looking for fan club members.
That's the Ed Trotta Fan Club on Facebook. You can follow Ed on Twitter at Ed_Trotta. Very active on there lately. So maybe I throw out a message, it'll give you a little response.
Okay.
Give you some wisdom and all that good stuff, man.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure.
Likewise.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
You got any big plans for Thanksgiving or any of that stuff coming up? Or
not yet.
Coming? You gonna do the Black Friday shopping?
I don't think so. No, I avoid that. No, I'm gonna make color changing candles for everyone.
Oh,
Shouldn't have said.
We'll bleep that out. We'll make it look like you were cursing or something instead. Better make it look like there's just a bunch of cursing and a bunch of bleeps. So. Ed, why don't you take us out, sir? We'll let you write us out here.
Okay, take care, Ramborsians. Stay ballsy. Stay alert. Stay in school. Stay away from firearms.
Good advice.
And follow your dreams and don't give up.
I like it. All right.
Okay.
See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.